Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Doing something a little bit different today. Taking a little walk. I just had a few things on my mind I wanted to talk about. One being the image. The image of African Americans around the world. I can't really speak for black people around the world. I don't know how everybody, because different groups of people are viewed differently. For example, Nigerians are viewed a certain way overseas and within Africa by neighboring countries. Ghana is viewed a certain way. Ethiopia. Everybody has a different identity. My parents are from the Caribbean. I'm a first generation African American. And I'm going to talk about, from my perspective, what I understand, what I see, what I've seen. As an African American, I lived overseas for several years. I lived in Asia. I lived in a couple of different countries. I've vacationed and did long stays in certain countries, and there's an image that we have in America as African Americans that is separate from America as a whole. That the image of America is, people know America, but they know African America in a different way. They see things for what they are. For the most part, there are some things that they have misconstrued, and a lot of it, believe it or not, is due to the image that we have because of hip hop, the image that we put out, the image that a certain segment of our African American community puts out. This image is not signed off by all African Americans. No one gets our approval. And they don't have to get our approval, but it would be nice if you could represent yourselves well when creating your art. It would be nice if you considered everybody else and how it's going to affect the group when you make your art. So, overseas, our image is really I'll give it a D plus. I've never given it a grade before, but I'm going to give it a D plus. Like a strong D plus. First of all, the image of hip hop is our image. This is why I spend so much time talking about hip hop. A lot of you who are watching this have never lived overseas, so you don't know what it's like for people to come up to you and to, ask you to rap battle or ask you about basketball. No one asks me about the cotton gin. No one asks me about modern day black inventors. No one asks me about that stuff. And the reason why is because no one knows. No one knows about black scientists and their patents when it comes to VoIP technology. No one knows about The 90% of microphones that are in existence today are there because of an African American. No one knows that. What they know is what the hip hop community shows them and what they've seen through Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama. We have an image problem. It's an emergency. It's an emergency. People don't see this as a problem, and the people who don't are the ones who are ignorant of the facts of what's happening. We have an emergency overseas. We have, in the world, in America, our image is being sullied, dirtied, because of just, people, ignorant people with slave-like mentalities who just have no idea. Just literally have no idea that there's a world outside of America and that people are watching. And they think what they do is good. They think it's good. They think it looks good. They think they're cool. And the rest of the world is looking, they're sucking their teeth, and they're shaking their head. And so are the black people in this country who've snapped out of it, who've elevated themselves past slave mentality, who see things for what they are, and who want to do better for the community and improve our overall image. Look at Mona Scott. Mona Scott's a selfish piece of trash. Selfish piece of trash. She single-handedly is setting back black women years. And if she's not dragging them backwards, if that's not what she's doing, she's preventing black women from escaping certain stereotypes that don't apply to all of them. And she's strengthening these stereotypes by putting these ghetto ratchet trash on TV. And profiting from it and ruining the image of people in the community in the process. She needs to be boycotted. All of her stuff needs to be boycotted. You cannot support that sort of stuff. If you're supporting that, shame on you. Shame on you, man. See, there's a difference between we have a culture in African America where, some women have, there's a thing where there's an attitude, there's a strength thing, something that's viewed as strength. It's viewed as a good thing, but it's not everybody. And for, in the minds of some people, it's going to seem like it's everybody. When you see this on TV and you see multiple women just arguing, fighting, calling each other, the B word, and it's just sometimes I just wish I could be in another country and just escape all of this, just escape African America and its negative influence. It's like it's such a toxic influence. People just don't understand. When you go overseas and you live overseas for an extended amount of time and then you come back to the States, you see it for what it is. You see it clearly, and it's really ugly. It's really, really ugly, and it's unfortunate, But our image, guys, I'm just ranting right now, but this is a very, very needed rant. This is something I want you to consider. A lot of you have never lived overseas. Some of you have never been out of the country. And I want you to know, when you go overseas, consider the image. Consider the rest of us when you go overseas. Consider the image of your people in America. Be an ambassador. Be an ambassador. Be on your best behavior. Be polite. That stuff goes a long way overseas. People form opinions based on the interactions with a few people. I form opinions. Everybody. We're all of us are guilty of this. So we have to improve our image. Right now, we're just gangsters and rappers and athletes. That's it. That's all we are. And the truth is we're so much more. We contribute a lot to this country. And you know, and it's always the few people. It's always the few that contribute, you know? And it's the same for white society. There are a few key inventions that white people have done, that a handful of white people have done that have changed the world. Look at Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla. These inventions have changed the world and the lives of everyone around the world. They've helped modernize society. But in the same way, a lot of the VoIP, the microphone, you know, all the technology. I can't remember everything that you know, cotton gin and the lawnmower. The original lawnmower was invented by a black woman. Just all these different things. When you look around society and you get the facts, then you can see our role. If you were to put a sticker on everything that we've done, like say a yellow sticker on everything that's been created by African Americans, and you look around society day to day, you would see our stamp on everything. And I would argue that we haven't created more than Asians. We haven't done more than Asians, Northeast Asians, Japanese, Koreans, Chinese. But it's a clear fact that we've done a lot more than a lot of Southeast Asians. Not to say that Southeast Asians are stupid. It's just that in comparison, they're very smart people. In comparison, we've done a lot. Obviously, white people, Jews, and a lot of other people, and some other, they lead when it comes to inventions, but we're in the top 10. Just put it that way. We're in the top 10. You guys don't even realize that. And if you were to realize that, it would elevate your way of thinking. It would elevate how you viewed your culture. You would carry yourself with your head high. And you should. But not in an arrogant way, but in a way that confirms there's a plan out there for you. We're better. We're a lot better than people give us credit for. I mean, a lot of the focus goes into music. You look at, we got hip hop, jazz, blues, R&B, techno. Okay, that's in America. There's others around the world that we've invented and popularized. Hip hop has been the #1 music on the planet. Unfortunately, due to its negative influence, if hip hop could clean up, it would be a good thing. It would be something I'd like to brag about, but can't really brag about it because it's the #1. That's why I go after it and I try to clean it up and I try to share why we need to fix it, because it's basically the #1 beacon that's calling people to our culture, to who we are, the hip hop culture. And there's so many offshoots from hip hop. There's so many branches, you know, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Anyway, I'm just gonna go until this video runs out. I'm at about 12 minutes right now. Our image is so important, guys. Teach your kids about black inventors. You know, I did a video about Black History Month. Black History Month, I believe, has been weaponized. It's propagandized. It's propaganda. It teaches you only a part of the story. It doesn't teach you about now. It doesn't teach you about current black history, things that have been happening in the last couple years. And in that way, what it does is it just teaches you about slavery and escaping slavery, but it doesn't tell you the full story. We have an amazing story. We have an amazing story. We've come from a brutal past, and we've been involved in some of the coolest inventions. Some of the, you know, we've done substantial things. Even things that, when it comes to fiber optics, things when it comes to the cell phone, the guts of the cell phone, there's patents out there with black Americans' names on it. Look it up. Go to Google patents. Search inventions. Do your research. Share. Put it in people's faces. They need to know. That's black history. Once people start to realize who you are, they no longer treat you like trash. Right now, we're being treated like trash. Let's be honest. We're being treated like trash. And the truth is, we deserve much more credit. They're treating us like drug dealers and criminals. And that's the image we're putting out because of this music. But the truth is that we're inventors. I'm an inventor. We got two. I have a product and a service. I have a service that's launching very soon. Just got integrated into U.S. Bank. I have a service that's amazing. I'll tell you guys about it sometime. I have an app that's coming. Anyway, guys, common denominator, ran out of battery, ran out of storage actually. Common denominator. Catch you guys next time.